everybody, today I want to share with you a little collection of L'Oreal palettes. If you follow me on Snapchat or my vlogs, you have seen these pop up. These are the relatively new quads from L'Oreal. They're calling these pocket palettes. I guess you could put them in your pocket. You could put any of their quads in your pocket, but these are in fact just a quad set of 4 shades I think it's a brand new formula. They are different in texture from any of the other shadows that I have in my collection. They retail for $9.99 and they are available in all the usual places that you would find L'Oreal. There are 8 quads in the collection. I have 7 out of the 8. I'm not entirely sure how that happened. I have swatched all of them for your viewing pleasure, and I definitely have some opinions on them, pros and cons. Like I mentioned, just want to be very clear, these were sent to me. I did not purchase them with my own money, but I have a very unbiased opinion of them. I am wearing predominantly one palette today. It is number 102, Avenue des Roses. Mostly this, all 4 shades on my eye, and then just to deepen that outer crease, I grabbed a shade from 104 French Biscuit over here. I did the matte brown shade. So I am no stranger to L'Oreal eyeshadows. I really like them. My favorite of all the options they make is the L'Oreal Infallible single ones, which of course I forgot to bring here, but those are the most creamy, beautiful eyeshadows I have ever used, high-end or drugstore. They're just beautiful eyeshadows. And then recently I've started to get into these new shadows, the mono shadows, I believe. There are also singles. Cafe au lait is a really good example of one of my favorite shades. They're very soft, very pigmented, and they come in a variety of matte shades, shimmer shades, very, very pretty colors, bright shades, neutral shades, and so forth. These are interesting. So these there's almost no pattern to what you get in a quad. Some of these quads, like this Avenue des Roses, is there's a very shimmery, almost metallic shade here in this hot, bright pink one. But then this shade is matte, and then there's kind of a satiny, some of these are more satin. Biscuit has 2 matte shades, then this very highly glittery shade. Some of them are all shimmery metallic shades like Boudoir Charm, this one. And then, so there's no rhyme or reason to what you're getting, whether it's one matte, one satin, one metallic, one shimmer. I don't really know what the method was for what they decided the formulation was going to be when they put together these palettes. So why don't we just walk through all 7 of the ones that I have, and then I will tell you what I think of them. So here we go. Let's start with what's on my eyes. This is Avenue des Roses, which is obviously very much a pinky rose shaded palette, reminiscent of, the Naked Threes, and very lovely shades. They swatch, I would say, very true to color and very blendable, very easy to put on the eye. Next is French Biscuit. This was one of my favorites of the options. They offer 2 matte shades which go on very nicely. Really like the shimmery brownish taupe shade, and the glittery shade on the bottom right corner there actually transfers nicely onto the lid as well. It's not patchy, it's not too chalky. It's not the creamiest of the formulations, but it's a pretty color. Next we have Boudoir Charm. Out of all of the palettes, this one is my absolute favorite as far as formulation goes. Disappointed that there's not a single matte shade out of the 4 options here, but all 4 shadows go on perfectly smoothly, no skips, no chalkiness, great pigmentation, beautiful finish, almost a foil finish. Like I said, I just wish there was a matte shade to offset this. You definitely are going to need another shadow or almost another palette to make this a balanced look on your eye, but any of these shades by themselves can be worn as a single shade all over the eye and you would have a complete look. So it's, of all 7 palettes, this is the one I would recommend. Next we have Silver Couture. This one was a huge disappointment. The bright silver shade is actually quite pretty and does go on nicely, but the other 3 shades are quite dry and chalky and they skip when applied, and I was really disappointed in the formulation of these shadows. Next we have Avant-Garde Azure. These are, in the pan, very pretty blue shadows if you like blue shadows, but once you try putting them on your skin, you'll be very disappointed, very dry to the touch, very chalky, and as you can see, they skip, and they are definitely take a pass on this palette. There are obviously other options out there, both drugstore and high-end, if you want to have blue eyeshadow. Next, we have Violet Amour. It's interesting. I found as the palettes get brighter, the L'Oreal is just struggling more and more with the pigmentation. The colors do not translate onto the skin. As you blend, the color shears out. The only bright star in this quad is the light pink foil shade, I guess. Is a pretty shade, but the rest of them just sort of sheer out when you blend them, and the dark purple almost looks just more like a bruise color, at least on fair skin. It didn't really translate well onto my skin tone. And then lastly, we have Hot Hazel, and it was okay. I mean, it's not the worst of the options, and it wasn't the best of the options. It's a nice, these are not my personal favorite colors, but they're pretty colors on other people. I admire them. They just don't look great on my skin tone. I'm too fair to pull it off, I think. If you're medium olive skin toned or darker, they will look great on you. The pigmentation was just fine. It didn't skip or anything. I really actually, the more olivey toned one here is actually a really pretty shade. So this was fine. It was just nothing to write home about, but it was a fine palette. All right, so my conclusions. For $9.99, this isn't the most expensive drugstore palette you're going to find. There are some definite bright stars. Like I said, when I was swatching for you, 106, which is Boudoir Charm, which is it's all metallic, foily kind of shades. So I have a problem with that in that, at least for me, I don't want all metallic shades on my eye all at once. I think that's like a lot of shimmer. So I would want to personally balance this out with some matte shades if I'm wearing this as a all-in-one look. So I don't feel like this is a standalone palette, but like I said, all of these shades could be worn individually, almost all by themselves for a one shadow, one look. They are so soft and so creamy and just absolutely beautiful. Love, love, love this one all by itself. The one I'm wearing today, I feel like, I guess this applies to many of all the other palettes. Like they kind of need something else. I don't feel like any of these palettes are really standalone palettes. They're missing either a highlight shade or a brow bone shade or a crease shade. None of these palettes really work as a standalone palette, and I kind of feel like for $10 in the drugstore, that would be nice to have. And I say that because L'Oreal has made palettes that are standalone shades, standalone palettes, like this one, Good Luck Charm, has everything you need. It has the shimmery highlighting shade and the matte brow bone shade and the lid shade and the deep outer corner shade here. Or if you just want beautiful pigmented single shadows, like I mentioned, they have the Infallibles, they have the mono shadows. So L'Oreal does have better options. I think they're on the right track as far as formulation. These particular foil metallic ones, these are beautifully pigmented. I'm just not entirely sure what the thinking was when they put these together, because it's like hit or miss as far as matte, shimmer, satin. There's no pattern to it. So anyway, would I recommend them? Some of them yes, most of them no. I would love to know what your thoughts are, if you've tried any of these. Did you like them? Is there one that stood out for you? As always, I love trying out makeup and I love sharing with you my absolute honest opinion. It's not always going to be raving and glowing, and it's not always going to be 100% bad. It's usually going to be somewhere in the middle. If there is a particular makeup product that you want my opinion on, please let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you like this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Hey guys, it's been a while since I've done an empties video, and I have a bag of stuff, and you can hear it clinking around, so let's just jump right into it.